Okay, so after you have drawn out the basic shapes of your space, right? Notice I haven't put in any trees, right? I haven't put in a lot of detail at all because these things are going to overlap on top of the background. So what we're going to do first is start with the thing that's farthest from us. So for most of us, that's going to be sky. And I'm going to go ahead and mix myself a blue that matches this. Now in your sets, you really only have a few different blues to choose from, and this one is pretty dark. So what I'm going to have to do is add white to it. So with the pastels, you can use the edges of them, right, as well as the tips to kind of fill in your color, right? And I don't want to put it in too heavy. I maybe even did it already a little bit too heavy. And I'm actually going to put it in behind my tree so that if I see it, some sky underneath of it, I can use it. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer on my white. And you can see how this is mixing together to make a light blue, right? So now I can use my best trick that I have, or my best tool, which is my fingers. And I can go in and I'm going to smudge it in. So we're going to kind of use this to spread it out. I'm going to try to get rid of as many lines as possible since the sky is a smoother thing. Now that's still too dark, so I can go back in and add some light to it. I don't want it to get too thick though. All right, I can go back in and put some more value in. All right, so trying to get rid of some of those lines. Now, if this blue is too bright and I have to dull it down, because sometimes blue skies are not as blue as you see them in your set, you can always pull out some of the gray to also mute down the blue. But I would use very little of it so that you get a real soft sort of pastel, right, with the pastel. So we're using a light color with the pastel, okay? So I'm going to go up to the edge of my next section, right? Make sure I've gotten in a little bit of a base, right? So then the next part I have are these mountains back here. Now with the mountains, they look kind of grayish, but they also look kind of purplish. And I don't have a purple in my set, but that doesn't mean that you don't. I also have some extra colors that in the classroom set that we can pull out. So I'm going to go ahead and open them up, and I'm going to see if I have a purplish color I can use. These Faber-Castells are kind of cool because they're made kind of small so that you can use the side of them a little bit. I think I'm going to go with this light color since I have to lighten it already anyway. And I'm going to go ahead and put in my mountains, not just a gray, but kind of a purple gray, because purples are really great for showing distance, right? Showing your mountains, right? And I just want to pull this over as far as I might see them through some of these trees. I can use the side of it, right? Kind of put that in. Now, you probably notice I probably need to add some more color into this, right? So what color do I want to add to the purple to make it look a little bit farther away? Right? Maybe I want to add blue. Maybe I want to add some gray. Sometimes these sets have things that look grayish, right? Like this is a grayish color that also looks purplish. Right? And then I can use that to put in that color. So I'm doing in the border. See how that kind of cleaned up, right? I can take this extra pastel that's all over my hands and I can dump it in the trash, or all over the table I can dump it in the trash. So I think I still might want to make this a little bit more gray. I also think I might want to shape it up a little bit. So like this mountain I got a little too simple. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in a little bit more of the true shape of the mountain. Right? Maybe pull out some of that color that I was using. To make it look a little bit more like the mountain that I have here. Now if it has to go lighter, I can add white to it, which you could probably see I'm going to need to do that. So I'm just dumping it in the trash as I walk away from the iPad. Right? And I can put in the area where I need some white. Right, to kind of lighten this up. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do next is kind of figure out what the next level of space is going to be. Okay, so now I'm going to start to put in probably this area here. Maybe I'm going to put a massive green here. So I'm going to keep working forward as I go. Right?